Good day, thanks for joining us on Your Take, the Power Sector and You. My name is Onyebuchi Odianjo and I'm so excited today because we'll be meeting one of Nigeria's #1 mental health coach, Mr. Sam Obafemi. He is #1, the first Nigerian anger management coach, a therapist, a certified Mastery of NLP, and a positive psychiatrist. I can't wait for you guys to meet him. Please don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Sam Obafemi. I'm called Coach Sam. I'm the president of Sam Obafemi Behavioral Change Academy. I am on Your Take with O'buchi Multimedia, and I'm going to be sharing my take on Power Sector and You on O'buchi Media. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Alright, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for honoring us with this interview. We really appreciate you. Okay, sir, so basically we're going to be talking about a general overview of the power sector in Nigeria. You're a man filled with so much knowledge. You've trained a lot of leaders and you've spoken to a lot of people. And I am very aware that you're knowledgeable of the developmental aspects of Nigeria. So we're going to be talking about electricity today on Your Take, the Power Sector and You. So sir, can you enlighten me on what you think about the electricity sector in Nigeria?
I think that Nigeria has made some progress, maybe very little but very tangible. So, as at 10 years ago, to the best of my knowledge, or about then, we didn't have prepaid system of power. I can imagine if I was still paying crazy bills, probably be a very frustrated business owner because you don't have control over that. But now I buy the units I want and I use it the way I want. That gives me control. So for that, there is progress. People can we buy power on our mobile phones. Just use the internet and buy power. That is progress. So to a large extent, there has been some progress, but we still have power outages. That I don't know if it will ever be resolved, but to be honest, there's been some progress that should be commended.
Alright, sir, thank you very much. But however, considering the minimum wage that was approved by the federal government, and considering as well that the high population of Nigeria, they're made up of the grassroots, how do you think they can get affordable power supply? Like you mentioned, you at the comfort of your office or home and you get your electricity bills settled. But then how about these people that don't have, that can't afford an Android phone, that can't afford certain amount of some certain things? What do you think can be done?
Well, everywhere in the world, especially in developed or civilized societies, there is provision for the underserved. There is provision for the poor. Nigeria should create a segment where we know the poor people who can't afford power, and by some form of screening, they should reside in areas where there is free power, which should be paid for by the wealthy. It's everywhere in the world. So people, businesses and people who earn income from a particular bracket, maybe for instance, if your income every year is say 10 million and above, you should be made to pay tax that is like a tiny sum, maybe 100K in a year. That is power intervention for poor people. So people who subscribe to power intervention, you register that you can't afford power. But the system can be designed so that you have access to pins. The power system should also be available so that people can buy the pin. Like we used to buy 100 naira credit, 1,000 naira credit on the street. Yes. We should have street vendors. You can go and pay your 100 naira and collect 100 naira pin, come and key it in your prepaid meter. So there can be a system where the wealthy can pay for power for the poor. Okay. There can be a system where people can buy power of 15 naira, 100 naira, depending on what you can afford. So it's pay as you use, but I think that we need to find people, create a system where people can pay for those that can't afford it basically. But then we now also need to redetermine who do we say cannot afford it?
Exactly.
Because it's a very funny system. People can afford condoms, people can afford airtime, but you say they cannot afford power. So it's difficult to define who really is poor, because some people are just, it's priority. It's not a priority for them. They say they would rather buy food than buy power. So defining who is not able to afford is also another bargain on its own.
Yes.
But when we look at it objectively, we should go to negotiate where some can pay for some, basically.
And this can be achievable in Nigeria?
It's doable. It's doable. I know the average Nigerian is a very tricky person, very dishonest, and can be very crafty, yeah. But then there are really those that really cannot afford it. So it's for us to, maybe by way of research or study or observation, know the metrics that defines that clout of people, and then maybe some form of co-location. Every local government should have just the way we have GRAs. We should have areas where there are those that can't afford stuff.
Okay.
But they must register. In the US, you must register if you're going to be on food stamps.
Yeah.
So you must have been registered as someone that can't afford food for you to be on a food stamp list. If you're on a food stamp list, there are just benefits you cannot enjoy anywhere, which is where our national ID card would have added a lot of value.
Okay.
If everybody was on the national ID card, your status will be part of the records in the national ID card. When you say you can't afford something, your national ID card will swipe it or read the records of it to validate that yes, you cannot afford it. If you say you cannot afford it, there are some areas you cannot enter because you can't afford it.
Yeah.
So you can't go to the mall because your card will bounce you out. So there is a system that can fix it. It's just like Nigeria, well, to take a lot of effort and regulatory to fix it, but it's doable.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Then you stated a possibility of being able to buy 50 naira or 100 naira power. But there's this challenge about limited power supply, limited meters, and also estimated billings.
Yeah.
So what do you think can be done?
I think that problem is man-made.
Okay.
It's just part of our corruption problem. There is no justifiable reason why we don't have prepaid meters everywhere in Nigeria. No reason. There's no reason why we should still be doing crazy bills or estimated bills by this time. There's no reason at all. It's just politics. It's an example. People pay to get prepaid meter. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's a government service. You should our paying for the power should pay for the meter.
Okay.
So if you have to factor the billing into the payment for the meter, everybody should be able to go to a government office, fill a form, pick a meter that's attached to your name, and is installed in your house. It's a government service. The system is not serving us. They actually think they are doing us a favor.
Okay.
So you go to get prepaid meter, and then you have to beg for it. You have to lobby for it. You have to bribe for it. You have to. No, it's completely wrong. It's where you are thinking from back. You also, prepaid meter should be available for everyone who has a facility they want to power on. It should be free, because we pay for the power anyway, and when we pay for the power, it should be factored in the cost of the meters. And so even if it means having to pay a premium, if the power is constant and the meters are free, we'll be willing to pay the premium for the power supply. That's the way these things are supposed to work. So if we see the return on our effort, we are willing to do more. But when we don't know what they're doing with the money we're paying, that's why people are resistant to making payments. That's the way I look at it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I spoke to a few people, and some people say renewable energy is the way to go. In fact, Honorable Fashola, when he was still the Minister of Power, also mentioned by 2030, renewable energy would be a thing. I believe President Muhammadu Buhari also stated something like that at a conference, I think SDG or so, that we are looking towards renewable energy. How feasible do you think this is?
The monies people make from power plants will not make them support renewable energy.
Okay.
The system, the cabal, the syndicates that controls power in Nigeria will not allow for renewable energy to take center stage, because the infrastructure and the design of how the power industry is such that there is so much stake and there has been so much installed. So for the entire infrastructure to be restructured to allow for renewable energy, it's like a camel going through the eye of a needle. So it's not about feasibility.
Okay.
It's not about whether it will work. It's about the fact that there is already a human system that will make sure it does not see the light of day.
Okay.
Nigeria has abundance of resources for renewable energy. Abundance. In Ojota, Lagos, there is a whole land, massive land that has waste products. That is the primary driver for renewable energy. What are we talking about? Is it water? Is it... There are so many angles to it. But the human element, the structure at play, the mafia, will not allow it to happen. So, talking about renewable energy in Nigeria is lip service. There's not been, even political will cannot do it.
Okay.
Because it's not about the government's instruction, neither is it about the government pursuing anybody, it's about the stake. And the way the Nigerian mind thinks, the average enterprising man in Nigeria, is about the money. If this thing is not going to take care of their interests, financial interests and economic interests, forget it. They will not back it. So that's the unfortunate reality on ground. It's not about whether it will work or not. It will work.
Okay, sir.
But the powers that be will not make sure it happens.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your words. One final question or advice. What would you suggest to improve the power sector in Nigeria?
First, I'll just say every stakeholder in the power sector should check their conscience.
Okay.
Everything is on ground to make it work. They need to check their conscience. They need to balance the craving for wealth and the service to humanity. That is very important. The average Nigerian is doing what they can to just keep ends and make ends meet and keep going. So I would say that those that govern or stakeholders should balance the craving for wealth and the service to humanity. I would also encourage the consumers to, I know this is driven by poverty. Consumers can be very crazy. They try to take shortcuts and try to defraud the system. So, which is driven by poverty. So I would also encourage the players in the industry to be innovative.
Okay.
Let us use the system we did for telecoms. Let's use it for power. Decentralize it, make it available, make it more dynamic, more innovative. More people will buy into it, more people will benefit from it, and the need for corruption will disappear over time. So innovation is welcome, empathy is welcome, conscience is welcome, and hopefully everything will be fixed in no time.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me
on
your show.
Thank you, sir.
Well done.
Thanks for staying with us on Your Take, the Power Sector in You. Please stay with us as we go out to the streets to find out what people think about the power sector. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. How is the power supply in your residence?
I stay at Obafemi that's close to Cedar First Hospital. These days have been off and on. Like I left the house this morning, I didn't leave with lights, so I couldn't iron. Thanks to Nigeria, but thank God. But it has been off and on, and then the fact that when rain falls, there's no lights, which is very annoying because that's when we need light more. And then we have to spend lots of money on diesel and fuel and all that. So it hasn't been great. I'll say it's 5/10.
What's your opinion on estimated billing?
Estimated billing, I think it's robbery because I met somebody at Apollo Resettlement years ago that was using the estimated bill. There was a time he got 80,000 naira for a month to pay, and then he actually didn't have light like half of the month. So I was wondering what he was paying for, and then it was seeming like a problem when he didn't want to pay. They came and started trying to cut his light. So I feel it doesn't make sense, because how would they know? Because they actually feel they supply light most times, but then they don't. So I feel they just think in their office that, oh, this person has light, let's go and charge him.
How is the power supply in your residence?
It has improved, really, I must say, because at then we're strictly running on diesel practically, but for now I think it's good. They've really improved.
Do you use a prepaid meter or you pay for estimated billing?
I use a prepaid meter.
What's your opinion on estimated billing?
Let me just break it down. I think it's just scam. I feel everyone should use a prepaid meter. It's way better, because once you're using a prepaid meter, you're more conscious.
What's your opinion on the power sector in Nigeria?
Well, power sector in Nigeria has improved a bit, but my problem is it's not everywhere. There are just some areas that have more light than others, and which is not meant to be. I believe everyone should enjoy light.
Thanks for staying with us on your take, The Power Sector in You. My name is Onyebuchi Odianjo, and for more info on the power sector, please follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen right now. Thanks for staying with us. Have a great weekend. God bless you.